Hi, I'm Wayne Cousins.
And I'm Ramona Marr.
And you've been to Czechoslovakia. How was it?
Had a great time. We were there last week to do some stories on Expo, and we'll have the first of them on today's show. Did you miss me?
No, it was just like having my own show. Just kidding, just kidding.
Also on World Stage this week, Bill Dobson takes a look at something that isn't there.
Ricky Tarosky previews the Scala Opera Company at Expo.
Wayne Cousins becomes a recording star. Is this some kind of joke?
Well, I'll let you be the judge. We begin today's show with something for the sailors, or for those of us who just have a little romance in our hearts. The Bluenose II is coming to Vancouver for Expo. Cam Cathcart managed to hitch a ride.
During an earlier time, many young men ran away to sea to experience life under sail. Well, I'm not running away to sea, but I have been invited aboard Bluenose II for the day. So come on, let's have an adventure. Morning, sir.
Okay, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
I hope you bought your rain gear. And,
well, I guess I better today.
All right, then we'll get underway.
Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold. Hold through. Hold the peak.
As she motor sailed to Ladysmith from Victoria on the weekend, with overcast skies and steady drizzle, sou'westers and rain gear was the order of the day. There's a special appeal of Bluenose II. When you walk the wooden deck, you know you're aboard a true ocean-going sailing ship. Bluenose II will visit BC for just 3 weeks. Her first trip to Canada's west coast. A visit bound to touch the hearts of all who see her and visit aboard.
Feel her bow rise free of Mother Sea in a sunburst cloud of spray that stings the cheek while the rigging will speak of sea miles gone away. She is always best under full press, hard over as she'll lay. Who will know the Bluenose in the sun?
The original Bluenose, built in 1921, was a Grand Banks fishing schooner, but also competed in the International Fisherman's Trophy race, which she won for 20 consecutive years.
The rich men's toys of the Gloucester boys with their token bit of cod. They snapped their spars and strained to pass her by, but she left them all behind. Now her namesake daughter remains to show.
Captain Don Barr has been skipper of the Bluenose for 9 years.
We left Bermuda first part of February. From a sailing point of view, it's not been good because we've had very light winds. But because our schedule was very tight and we had to motor, it was we could travel quicker motoring with light winds.
British Columbia has a stake in Bluenose II. Her masts are Douglas fir, and so are the decks.
Blowing up the jumbo up there.
We hope you've enjoyed our brief trip aboard Bluenose II. And as for the ship, well, long may her big jib draw. This is Cam Cathcart for World Stage 86 aboard Bluenose II, sailing in the Gulf Islands.
Anyone who visited Expo 67 in Montreal will remember that one of the most popular pavilions belonged to Czechoslovakia. Well, the Czechs are anxious to repeat that success in Vancouver. Last week, they invited World Stage to visit Czechoslovakia to learn something about their plans. Our visit began in the capital city of Prague. standards, Prague is an exceptionally beautiful city, well over 1,000 years old and still blessed with many fine historic buildings. Visitors to Expo 86 will be treated to Prague's scenic and cultural highlights, as well as to a piece of history they won't expect. No, this is not the way they normally behave on the streets of Prague, but it is becoming a very popular form of entertainment. Groups like this act out a somewhat romantic version of various kinds of medieval fighting. They do it on television, in the movies, and the scoop is that they'll be doing it in Vancouver at Expo 86. It's all in good fun, of course, but it is actually based on history. Many a duel was fought for a lady's hand or in defense of family honor, and Czechoslovakian history will live again at Expo. You've got me totally on edge when I watch you. I was just wondering how dangerous this is.
Já nerad hovořím o zranění, která samozřejmě tento žánr provází.
In our case, it's really dangerous because we have to be very careful, and we are, of course. But it can happen anything because we are just only, human beings, and we can make the mistakes. Of course, we get hurt quite often, but it's not so, well, let's say, so hard. But we try to be as careful as possible.
The sounds of swordplay have long since faded from the streets of Prague, but the musical spirit is still very much alive. Mozart spent a great deal of time here, so it provided the perfect backdrop for the movie Amadeus. Renowned director Milos Forman returned to his native Czechoslovakia to film his masterpiece on the life of Mozart. All through Amadeus, the beauty and drama of Prague's ancient streets is evident, and the triumphant premiere of Don Giovanni was filmed here at the magnificent National Theatre. But there's also a modern Prague. Today, a brand new National Theatre has risen beside the old one. The musical traditions continue too, at music schools like this one, where youngsters take lessons at a cost of $4 a month. This school has over 700 students, and there are 25 such schools in Prague alone. History is very much alive in Prague. You can see it in the culture, in the ancient streets, in the broad River Moldau as it flows beneath the old Charles Bridge. But the tools that will be used to present Czechoslovakia at Expo 86 will be modern ones. Audiovisual techniques with names like Rondovision, Actorscope, and Selectorama, all arising from the fertile mind of Dr. Raduz Chinchera. We'll explain some of these next week. In Prague, Czechoslovakia, for World Stage 86, I'm Ramona Marr.
Still ahead on World Stage. Youngsters sing for peace at the UN Pavilion. La Scala sings at the World Festival. And holography doesn't fool Bill Dobson. He sees right through it.
BC Business, in partnership with government, meets the challenges of...
The recipe for success in promoting Expo 86 might be the diversity of Expo souvenirs. This, for instance, is the official cookbook of Expo. It was assembled by Susan Mendelson, well known for her West Coast cookbooks, with photographs by Derek Murray. I gained 5 pounds just looking at Michael Jacobs' poached pears, the raspberry truffle torte, and white chocolate mousse. As Susan Mendelson put it, these are the trendiest of West Coast recipes. An official World's Fair cookbook. Where will it all end?
It's no surprise that the United Nations Pavilion at Expo will feature world peace as its theme, but much of the message will come not from a lofty political perspective, but through the ideas and music of young people.
I like to build a world
The UN Pavilion has given students the chance to communicate messages for peace. Youngsters at Kingswood Elementary School in Richmond are tuning up for a performance at the Plaza of Nations. Has your teacher been a real help to you learning the song?
Yeah.
What do you think of her?
She's excellent.
Do you think we need songs for peace?
Yes.
If you could say something to other young people your own age, maybe in another country, what would you like to say to them? Let's see.
Thank you for listening to me.
The contest encourages students to express their own ideas on world peace. These young artists at Vancouver's Mackenzie Elementary School are hoping their posters will be seen at Expo. The picture that you've already completed has a lot of flags on it. What are some of the countries?
Japan, I think that's Cuba, Sweden, that one's China.
And most of those are coming to Expo this year, aren't they? And inside, you've got...
That stands for peace.
Here are some messages for peace from the Vancouver Youth Theatre.
And you know, these commercials from the heart just might sell it.
We only have one world to live on, so we should take care of this beautiful planet Earth.
Peace is like a helium balloon. If we don't hold on to it, it'll be out of our reach.
Peace is like a typewriter. If we hit the wrong buttons, we could make a grave error.
Peace is like an uncarved gem. If we don't cut it carefully, it could crumble. We are the future. We are the future. We are the future.
What is it when you see something that you think is right in front of you, but it really isn't there at all? Don't give up. Just follow Bill Dobson into the holography exhibit at Expo's Roundhouse.
Now you see it, now you don't. It looks like a bunch of panes of glass hanging in a hall. But as you look at them and move, images jump out and move around. The curator of the exhibit, Ewan McNeil, says it's all a matter of light.
Well, what we've got is a sheet of film, not unlike your photographic film, that is at present mounted between two sheets of glass. And it is more or less a photograph illuminated by a laser, and it is the reflected light that we're actually seeing that is exposed on the plate. It's a very, very sensitive plate, and the glass facilitates its ease of mounting and cleaning and that sort of thing.
I didn't know what to expect here. I knew, for instance, that holograms are three-dimensional images formed through a combination of photography and laser technology. But some of these images look so real that you want to touch them, but they're not there. And when you turn off the special lighting, the glass appears to be completely clear. This is the man who took the holograms. His name is Michael Snow, but as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't exist. They call this exhibit the spectral image. This will be a fun place to watch people during Expo because there'll be a lot of staring, moving around, looking behind the frames, and expressions of bewilderment. An ordinary photograph couldn't arrange this collage of faces. From the spectral image for World Stage 86, I'm Bill Dobson.
And now, ExpoGuide. When you visit Expo 86, one thing you won't have to worry about is where your next meal is coming from. The amount and variety of food on site is almost endless. If fine dining is what you're after, there'll be at least a dozen fully licensed restaurants ready to serve you. Most of them will feature national delicacies from particular countries. Truly international dining. You can expect entrees in these fine restaurants to be priced in the $9 to $12 range. Then there are the family restaurants, full table service, but with a more informal atmosphere, and certainly easier on the wallet. $4 to $6 should cover the average entree. Again, they will be fully licensed. They'll serve things like Asian seafood, gourmet hamburgers, and pub lunches, and they'll feature both indoor and outdoor seating. Next, the buffeterias. These cafeteria-style restaurants will be bigger and faster than the others. They'll feature pasta, pizza, chicken, ribs, salads, even sushi. There will be at least a dozen buffeterias, entrees in the $5 range, and they'll be licensed for beer and wine. If you're really in a hurry, here's what you need. Quick cuisine. Used to be called fast food, right? These outlets will offer hamburgers, salads, croissants, tacos, and fruit. Beer and wine will be available. There'll be close to 40 of these quick cuisines across the site. If you have an adventurous palate and you'd like to try something really unusual, then look no further than the Northwest Territories Pavilion. There you'll be able to enjoy a musk ox burger, sliced caribou, and filet of Arctic char. Now, if you can't remember everything I said, full details can be found in the Expo Souvenir Guide. Bon appetit! And that's ExpoGuide.
The name La Scala is enough to make opera buffs go all weak in the knees. It's considered to be the world's greatest opera company, and La Scala has been signed to appear at Expo's World Festival. Who better to give us a preview than an opera singer? Here's Ricky Turowski.
I made my operatic debut right here in Vancouver in 1970. Many young singers dream about performing at La Scala, but few of us ever will, let alone hear the opera company perform, so it's particularly exciting that La Scala is coming to Vancouver during Expo 86. It's hard to understand living in the type of world we live in today, and the reason there were curtains on them is because when the opera was performed, they didn't turn the lights down in the theater. They kept the lights up so everyone could see who was at the opera. So people had curtains, and they'd close the curtains of their boxes so they could have privacy where they could read their newspapers, entertain their guests, have dinner, drink wine, and occasionally listen to the opera. And the La Scala Opera Company will be amplified for the first time ever in its 200-year history. One of the exciting things about the Verdi Requiem is the fact that although it's not an opera, it is the signature piece of the La Scala Opera. It's an unusual thing for an opera company to tour with a mass. It's formally called the Missa de Requiem, and it is a spiritual experience for those of you who would not normally go to an opera. You could come to the two performances and feel that you were having an uplifting spiritual experience. Some of the greatest singers ever to have lived have sung at La Scala, all the way from Caruso to Callas to Marilla Freni, who may be touring here this summer with La Scala. The La Scala Opera Company hasn't been to Canada since Expo 67. Whether you're an opera buff or not, I'm sure it'll be an exciting experience to hear this great company perform. From the Orpheum for World Stage 86, I'm Ricky Turowski.
This is Jewel's High Class.
Still to come on World Stage, a new recording star is born. But will he sell?
Well, that was just a lot. Well, you ain't never gonna ride it, and you ain't no friend of mine.
Is this Boeing 747 taxiing along Pacific Avenue in Vancouver? No, it's barging along Falls Creek, headed for Expo. It's the nose cone of the jumbo jet, and it was sent up by Boeing to join other flying machines on the Aviation Plaza. Just don't try to get it off the ground without wings.
Ever dreamed of being a recording star? Well, everyone will have that chance at Studio 86 on the Expo site. Pick a song, cut a disc. Of course, part of the package is the risk of making a complete fool of yourself. That would bother some people, but not our Wayne cousins.
World Stage presents Wayne's Not So Greatest Hits. You'll love, maybe.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
Who'll ever forget?
Cowboys ain't easy to love and they're harder to hold. They'd rather give you a song than diamonds or gold.
From the 50s.
This is Jewel's High Class. Well, that was just a lot. This is Jewel's High Class. Well, that was just a lot. Well, you ain't never gonna
You'll love this one.
Had to go, I don't know, she wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday.
He gets better and flatter.
The little faggot, he's a millionaire. We got some in-store microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We gotta move these refrigerators. We gotta move these color TVs.
With apologies to Kenny Rogers.
You got to know when to hold, know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
And just in time for Christmas.
And may all your Christmases be right.
Buddy Holly lived.
That'll be the day when you say goodbye. That'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave me, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. These vagabond shoes
Not available in any store or anywhere.
are longing to stray right to the very part of it. New York, New York.
Wayne, hold it. Hey, Jim. Hey, before you go, to commemorate your day at Studio 86, we'd like to present you with this gold record. So let me tuck it under your arm.
Great. I'll put it in my collection.
And congratulations and good luck on your recording career.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
At Studio 86, I'm singing star Wayne Couzens for World Stage 86. Well, how was I?
You were great.
Do you really mean that?
Absolutely. In fact, where can I get hold of half a dozen copies of that album?
Are you serious?
Sure, I'm serious. I need some placemats for my dining room table.
I'll get you for that.
I'm sure you will. Next week on World Stage 86, another full slate of Expo stories, including some more from Czechoslovakia.
We'll also visit the General Motors Pavilion, and we'll talk with Jean Drapeau, who had a World's Fair of his own one time.
That and more surprises on our next show. For World Stage 86, I'm Ramona Marr.
And I'm Wayne Couzens. And now we'll leave you with a video of the hottest selling album in Canada right now. Give me a break.
You get a job on the CBC, see? They let you on here, you do the stuff, and then they cancel you, yeah. If they got any brains, they'll kick me off, see? I'm making a mockery. They give me money, I play my guitar for you here on the CBC, yeah. Money for nothing, chicks for free. I don't know where they are, mind you, but I want my CBC. They're gonna cancel me.
This is CBC,